Counselor Green, were you calling me?
No, I wasn't calling you. Actually, Louis, you know Harry Lewis from the University of Red? It was a voicemail from his sister. I don't know why. So that's why I was so confused. That would be on my face. What's going on?
Got you. All right. So is it 11:30? Yep, it's 11:30. So we can go ahead and get started. This is the committee meeting for MBD. I was reading over the, well, first on the call, we have Counselor Green, Counselor Driscoll, and I see Commissioner Collins and also Commissioner Clifford are on the line. I was looking over the items that were sent over. So I guess we only have 2 for today, as far as I know. So we can start with Mr. Clifford.
Good morning, councilors. The request is for authorization from the council to authorize our department to require an exemption renewal application for senior citizen or disability recipients when we have we have information that would make us believe that that the person has passed away or changed their residence or sold the property. The COVID-19 Emergency Eviction and Foreclosure Prevention Act included a provision regarding these 2 exemptions. What the provision says is that anybody who got the exemption in 2020 would automatically get it in 2021. Mm-hmm. The problem is if somebody has passed away, obviously whoever owns the property now would not be eligible. So we have to have Common Council authorization for us to remove those exemptions if necessary. What we do is we send them the problem is that this law came out the 28th of December, and we had been mailing out renewals and accepting renewals and talking to seniors and disability recipients for many months and qualifying these people like we do every single year. And then they came up with this law, 3 days before we finalized our tentative roll. So this is just basically to enable us to remove exemptions where we found that they are not eligible for those purposes. We cannot remove exemptions where somebody if their income is increased. That's not allowed under this law. So those people who suddenly, I don't know, won money at the casino or something like that, and for a year would be ineligible normally, are still going to get the exemption. It's only cases where people have moved, they've sold the property, or they've passed away.
So in this case, if you have, and I know a lot of people here, so say the grandmother owns the house, she passes away, now her children or grandchildren live in the house.
Right.
They no longer have they can't take advantage of the exemption because they don't qualify. So in this case, they would have to pay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, only the exemption for seniors anyway is only for people who are 65 or older. The disability exemption, people have to show that they are receiving SSI disability. I mean, the law requires that we investigate these things every year. This year, the state just says, well, everybody gets it whoever had it last year. The problem with that is sometimes, situations occur where somebody sells the property. The new owner might not qualify for this. They have to apply for their own exemption.
Nice. Well, that makes sense. And the exemption shouldn't necessarily just be on the property. It should be on the owner, like attached to the owner and their capability to repay or pay.
Yes, it's the owner's qualification that allows the exemption to be granted. Yes.
Okay. Counselor Driscoll, question? I seen you leaning into the camera.
No, I'm just moving around. I think that makes sense. No questions here.
Okay. Councilor Green. I also see Councilor Paniagua and Council President Hudson are on the line now as well.
I'm okay, Council.
Okay.
I'm okay too. Thank you for asking.
Okay. And if you guys, did you guys get the email with the explanation on it? If not, I can forward it over to you guys if you didn't get it, just so you can look
That
at
would be
it.
great. Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'll send it to you, Rita. Okay. Helen, I can speak, no speakers. So can you hear us, President Hudson? She can't hear us. Yeah, she can hear us. Okay. All right. If you have a question or a comment, if you type it in the chat, I'll see it and then I can say it for you. Okay. All right. So the next one is coming from Commissioner Collins, correct? Thank you, Mr. Clifford.
Thank you, Councilor. I think we have two. We've got the two properties to go to the land bank, and then we've also got the IMA. I think a couple came through as attachments, and one is a link in the email from Jessica.
Okay, I'm pulling it up now.
Sure.
Counselor, I can resend whatever you need if you need it.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Jessica. All right, so this one was for the Community Development Block Grant for the partnership with or agreement with Onondaga County DSS, correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct. So that so the intermunicipal agreement, we simply have it set out as the exact dollar amount that the council approved on Monday. It's basically exactly what we did with the previous CARES Act funding that DSS is doing. So no changes. And then the county is also working on their resolution to be able to receive the money. So their partner, the partner agreement on it.
Okay, and so this money is $704,000. So, and this is going to be broken up the same way, like the same percentages. How is it?
So again, it's CDBG funding. So that means that this will be eligible to those that are 80% average median income or below as far as eligibility goes. They will, they'll take a small portion to be able to properly staff this. I can update. We had a good conversation with Senator Schumer's office a couple days ago regarding the challenges that we have with CDBG and ESG and what we expect out of Treasury and what we need in the next relief. We think that the next Treasury money that's been announced, although there has not been final guidance on it yet, will assist in us getting the CDBG money out the door. Specifically, one of the challenges that we've had in getting the CDBG money out the door is the fact that there's a 6-month cap on how far they can go with it. Because of the fact that the Treasury money is going to have a 12-month cap, and it is expected that we would be able to pay some months with Treasury and some months with CDBG, then together we would be able to, get some people qualified and use some of each pot of money to do that. Does that? I'm not sure if that explanation totally makes sense. So, hit me up with questions.
Okay. So, and on this one, this is going to be, this 700,000 is in addition to the money that we already received, but it's still under, this chunk of money is still regulated the same way. They still have the same restrictions, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So this is specific to the money that the council approved on Monday. And yes, it has the same HUD restrictions related to it. And, we made clear with Senator Schumer's office what those challenges are so that they understand how it's affecting us locally.
Okay.
And I would say that they were receptive, and I would also say our Buffalo HUD field office is not unsympathetic to the issue. They're interpreting what they're told to interpret from DC.
do they feel hopeful, Mike, Commissioner, that they'll be able to find a solution on it? Do you think?
Well, I think indirectly, Counselor, and so what I mean by that is we think that there may be a little. We think that there's a more straightforward path, perhaps, on freeing up some of the restrictions on the emergency solutions grant funds, which would be huge. Specifically, we're looking at whether or not they can lift the 21-day eviction notice that the New York State moratorium prevents us from actually having effectively, and therefore you can't access the ESG funds. The Treasury dollars are what we think are going to be able to open up the CDBG money to people that are restricted because of the 6-month cap. And we also, and they are in full agreement with us from, well, I can't speak for them. I felt as if they were in full agreement with us on the fact that any package going forward also needs to reflect that people that are over 80% AMI currently don't have help if they're here in Onondaga County, but they do if they're in Rochester or Buffalo. And that's because the coronavirus relief fund that was available to counties that are over 500,000 people that we didn't get here. So they are very aware of that, and so hopefully are able to take that into account in the next package.
My other question, Commissioner, is do we have a shelf life on this funding? I mean,
we do, but fortunately it's long, and that is a problem with the Treasury money. So this money that is in front of the council right now, in front of the committee right now, is available through September of 2022. So we're in good shape with this. To something for you to have in your sites for the future is that the Treasury money is available through December of this year, and that's presents some challenges.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see Council President has some comments in the chat. I don't know if you guys could see her comments. She's talking about the social services eligibility.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry, Councilor.
She just said a lot of these relief funds actually help to sink lower middle class because of the criteria. But I think that's something that she brought up the other day too. So it's just a matter of, we have the money, but I think everybody is a little frustrated of how it's getting out there.
And I think, Council President, you're making very insightful points and in complete agreement with you. Yeah. This is the challenge when rules are made to make sure that things are not taken advantage of, rather than the rules being made to make sure that people really get the help as efficiently as they can.
And so when we would vote on these on like the 20 something, whatever. So would these funds become available to DSS for them to get out?
So we are also in the process, since council has approved, in finalizing this within the HUD database. So they'll be available to recipients once HUD approves and the county completes their IMA, so that they can receive the funds. As I think we're all aware of, it does not seem as if the county is going to blow through all of the money that we've got over there currently prior to that. So from a timing perspective, we're fine.
Okay. Alrighty, any other questions or comments? No? Okay, and for the committee members, you can just give me a thumbs up if you're okay with moving these 2 items forward. I see Mike. Driscoll, you still here? Got you. Okay.
With it.
All right. So that's all that we have. So that.
Councilor, there was also the land bank items, the 2 items to move over to the land bank.
Oh, okay. I didn't see those ones.
There's 212 Merriman That is at the request of Councilor Hogan, and there's 331 Salina Street to Bank Alley, which was the one that collapsed and shut down North Salina or South Salina at that point for a couple of weeks, a few years ago.
So in that one on Salina Street, so right now that's just a vacant piece of land?
That is a vacant piece of land, correct.
And go to the land bank, and then what would happen after? Is there a plan for it, being that it's downtown?
Yeah, so they would conduct an RFP process for it. They have had queries about the property, even though they don't even have it yet. And Councilor Hudson is correctly stating within the comments here that it is in between two businesses. So we do know that there's interest, but Land Bank has been clear about the fact that they would conduct a full RFP process to make sure that it actually is going for best use.
Commissioner, Councilor, can I ask you a quick question? So I guess, is this one we would consider holding? I mean, there's a lot of value, obviously, and it's like right in the middle of downtown business district. Is it something the city wants to retain control of directly?
So yeah, fair question, Councilor. I think that because of the fact that it is a singular property that's in between two structures right now, it's pretty straightforward for what type of development could fit in there. And so I'm comfortable with the land bank being able to do an RFP process that's going to get a positive redevelopment of it for the city. But certainly we can, we can have further discussions on that if you like.
I mean, my only thought is, I mean, it's got to be worth $100,000, right? I mean, so like, is that something we would think about, us getting that money instead of land bank?
Right, because the city could do our own RFP and sell it and actually make the money.
I'm absolutely happy to loop that in with the other properties that we're talking about here and get a more cogent response back to you about where we see the best way of getting this into the market and what's best for the city. Absolutely.
Okay. So we're not more so like redundant and then taking up time with discussion. Do you want to? I would be okay with not putting this on the agenda and having further discussion before we actually put it on the agenda. Okay, Helen gave me a huge thumbs up.
I have not seen that emoji. It's actually moving. That's pretty cool.
Councilor Driscoll, Councilor Green, what do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe just holding it for, it's been vacant now for 3 years. So I think maybe one more meeting is fine. I mean, I think the most important thing is getting it back into use and, hopefully getting some housing in there and businesses. Like that's what we want to do. And maybe the city can't do that as quickly as the land bank. So it is the right thing, but it is a valuable piece of property. So I think we should at least think about whether or not we got to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that works for me as well, Councilor.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that with that one, Commissioner Collins. And
sounds good. And then 212 Merriman, again, a vacant property requested by Councilor Hogan due to ongoing neighborhood complaints. Owners in Brooklyn, property's been vacant since 2013. The notes that I have on that one.
Okay. I'm okay with adding that one to the agenda. Everybody else good?
Yep, fine by me.
Okay. So.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. So now are we all set?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Jessica, those were the only ones you sent over, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Jim, did you get the one that we are going to move forward with and the one that we're not, the one on South Salina Street or downtown Salina?
Yeah, everything's good except for Salina Street to the Bank Alley, and that's held. Everything else is good.
Yep. Okay.
Same link for the education, human development starting in 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks all.